When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gain, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gain.
Had a little tongue tie there.
I love it.
This week's episode. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you weren't warmed up because we have only talked for a half hour before recording.
I know,
so an hour and a half. I know.
Warming your voice up, it's a real thing.
Right?
So this week we're going to talk about how to manifest your dream home, since Cassie just did it. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. Right? It was bam, bam, bam. Yeah. Oh, so exciting.
Is that what you're excited about, Cass?
That is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about my clients too, because there's a lot of awesome stuff going on there too. But I'm super excited to be sitting in my office, which is just my office. It's not also a guest bedroom. It's just my office, and it's my space. I put a different floor in here because I want my office to feel different, and I want it to feel more beachy. And I'm excited about the rest of the house too. I'm excited that the pool is getting up and running. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited about the house. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk further about that, different flooring things. It's a little point, but a big point in one of the differences of when you're moving into a new space, which I think is cool.
Yeah. So what are you excited about before we jump into that topic?
I'm excited about my clients as well. So I feel so proud of how they're showing up. And in the group, there's been a lot of vulnerability. There's been some great questions, and there's been perfect support. And I love that I've actually asked for their help in creating this community, that we don't support it's real and it's authentic, but we're not jumping on the low vibe bandwagon. And they're doing a great job. So I'm super excited about that.
Ooh, let's do a whole show on that now that you're creating that, because that's my favorite thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so where do you want to start with our topic? I can't wait to talk all about your house and manifesting it.
I know. Well, so the first things first, that means Manifest It Now Live will be at my house in my living room area. So
yes.
I just want to touch on, if you guys are coming to Manifest It Now Live, go to manifestitnowlive.com and make your investment and get enrolled and secure your seat and decide if you're going to do VIP dinner and all that fun stuff. I just want to remind you that that's coming up in less than 2 months right now.
Oh, geez, it's getting close.
I know. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited because you're coming. And and one of the things I was telling you this morning is 20% of the time when I walk into the living room, dining room, kitchen space, I'm yes, and Manifest It Now Live is going to be here. And it's perfect for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a perfect part of the evolution of the Manifest It Live as well.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
So we can't wait to meet you guys.
I know. I'm so excited. I know a lot of you have said you're coming, and I have a lot of clients that are coming. You have a lot of clients that are coming. It's going to be awesome.
I know. I have clients that I've never met face-to-face before, and I'm so excited.
That's the best. That moment is just so the best. When you get to hug them in person.
I know.
Yeah.
So good.
Cool. All right. I could go on about our clients and Manifest It Now Live all show, but this show is about the house and manifesting your dream house. So do you want to start, Jen, because we had a little pre-discussion about this is this dream house. It's this moment's dream house, which is the same. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was walking last week, and I talk about having my dream house on the water, on the water surrounded by trees. And that's in some part of me has define that as my dream house. But I was thinking as I was walking, I was like, I a part of it, defining it like that makes it feel like it's not here, like it's apart or it's away or it's in the future somehow. And yes, that house is in the future, but I also feel like I'm living in my dream house now. And so it's not that, so two parts about that is it's so much more productive when you're manifesting to feel like it's happening now. And even though it doesn't, this current place doesn't have all the exact specific qualities of my dream house, it feels 95% the same way it's going to feel there. And I'm activating that it's happening now. And so I was thinking, I'm like, oh, it's not, I am in my dream house right now. And then who knows, maybe there'll be another house in between and then another one and then probably another one after that. It's not like this dream house is like the full, it's like the end of the journey. And so I think kind of even just defining it in a different way for yourself and understanding or appreciating or developing this awareness around where you're at now is a dream house in a way. It's got to be in our way. Yeah.
Well, so I want to add on to that, developing the awareness that it is or intentionally creating it as it is. You know, I've said this, I don't think I've talked about it in a long time, but when I moved back downtown into my studio apartment, which I was in love with, right? Just as in love with as I am with my 3,500 square foot house right now. My master bedroom, let me just, my master bedroom is bigger than that entire studio apartment. Like,
that's amazing.
Right? And so, what I did then, and I had a friend who helped me, and I'm forever grateful really for this awareness, is we made that studio have everything that I wanted in all of my dream houses, right? There was an office space, even if it was just a way that we made the office feel like the office, even though it was one big room with my bed and my office and my meditation space and my guest space and my kitchen and all of that. We really made that. There was a balcony. Like I made sure that I had the things that were most important to me, which was I can go outside on a balcony. Like I like to be high. I like to just have that. That's important, right? My big bed. I never once, even though many people said many things
on that,
right? I never got rid of my California king bed, right? Like, because that's important to me. That feels like luxury, and it's worth an extra foot of space for me.
Yep.
But like it. Even I can see that this all started then, right? Having my office and doing all that, and so it's really you can create it now, just the smaller version. It's generally a smaller version, right? Or a different version. And you can put up, like if you want to be on the house by the water, you get a water feature with the trees if it's not possible,
Yeah. I love this because having that, acknowledging that wherever you're at now, like we're talking about houses. So wherever you're living now, it's a part of whatever's to come. Like the essence, the vibration of what you're experiencing, what you're looking at, what you're living now, if it's not everything you want, it is a part of it. And acknowledging the parts of that are here is going to bring you to the ultimate or the next part quicker, better, easier, faster, all of it. And more fun, more enjoyable.
Absolutely. And I think we've made this point really good, but I want to close it by saying making your current home as much of what your future reality is just as important as, going to open houses at $1 million homes. Like, in fact, it would, making your house feel as good and as much of what you want is probably even more important than just touring, because often that takes a big practice. You have to be in the being space to be touring those $1 million homes, to stay out of the, oh, but I can't have this now. I wish I could have this space. But if you create your home and you make it amazing and you make it feel good all the time, you're creating.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so good. Okay.
All right.
So you started in your studio.
Started in my studio, which then I just moved into the one bedroom up a couple floors. which was just bigger. Again, there was a more defined office space. There was a bedroom. Like it was all the same, just bigger and better, right? Mm-hmm. And then there was the Four Seasons, which is amazing. Yep. And I got to practice that luxury, that being taken care of, that very expansive space. You know, everything there is just so big and expansive.
And we were talking about, too, how, because Cassie was saying how much she loved her office, and we were saying how it's the first time. And even in that space, because that room or that space had other roles, it's so different now that this space has one role. It's funny to put it that way, but...
Yeah. It has one role, to be my office, to be the place where not that I won't enjoy going other places, but the place where I create and the place where it's mine, and this, I can shut the door and be in here and I'm working, and that's, that's that.
But just to acknowledge, I don't think there was ever a time where you were like, oh, I don't, like, this isn't good enough, or I need more. You were always just like, oh, this will be great for now. And you always used the space you had, and there was no resistance against any of it.
No, you're absolutely right. I've always created that bubble, even if it's just energetically, like, this is my workspace. Like, when I sit here, this is what I'm doing. And now it's just time to up-level that. So there's a bigger space. There's a more of it.
Yeah.
Which is so fun.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, continue more on like the process of this house. So the idea, the first house.
Yeah. So the first house, I mean, so most of you know I moved like 9 months ago, and I knew that house was for the moment. Whether that moment was 9 months like now or 5 years, I knew it was for a moment. But it had everything. It felt spacious enough. There were 3 bedrooms. There was an office, like there was an extra space for an office, even if it ended up being 2 people's office and the bike room and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And there was a rooftop patio. So there was that expansive outdoor space. And there was a pool, like literally, like as if the pool was in our backyard. It was the community pool, but it was as if it was in our backyard, right? Which I don't know if I've mentioned yet, but this house has a pool, my own pool.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And so, but it got to a point where just thinking about things and just really wanting and dreaming, on inspiration, I went and looked at a house and was like, hey, they're building these houses really close to work. Like, to be 5 minutes away would be awesome walking, which I totally get because I used to be a 10-minute walk from work. And I know that's powerful. Just not having to have as much of a commute. And so we went and looked and really, actually decided on a place, but we had to wait for the lot, and then it didn't have everything, but we were like, we can make this work. It was still that this will be the next dream home, but there'll be another one after that, but it felt better. It felt like, okay, here's my, like, it had an office, here's this space. It had somewhat of a yard. And so that process was like, okay, go ahead.
You're exploring ideas here. Like, it was like an inspiration. Now you're starting to get curious. Now you're starting to have the evidence of what might be possible come in, or the experiences and the things that are giving you clarity about what you want come in.
Yes. And being able to see those and really like, for lack of a better word, like bounce those ideas, right? Like, I really like that this room's here. I don't really like that this room's here. I really like that there's 4 bedrooms, but I don't really like how small they are, kind of a thing. And so we just went with it. And the thing about that house got me prepared for is making a bigger investment in a monthly mortgage, which is something that is a real growing thing for me, because I'm like, I want this, I want that. And yet I know it's time to expand, and I know that that's okay. But we had to wait on that. So we were waiting for a lot in that house to come up. And as we were waiting, that gave me time to really own the payment, right? Yeah. And be like, okay, this is okay, and this is what this looks like. And it's not like it's even really a stretch. It's just trusting in other areas. Like, okay, yeah.
And it's just new.
I can save
it's
less.
Just like
it's new.
Different. Yeah.
You're right. That's exactly it. It's new. It's different. It's bigger than I've thought of, in the past. Right.
And
because
so that
I've just
process,
always been that person.
When you say like you had some time to own it and to get comfortable with that, like tell our listeners more about what that's like, because I don't really think it's a lot of work or deliberateness even on your part, other than just being aware of it.
Yeah, I would just, it's just being aware, like, okay, I have this feeling. I feel some ways about saving less, or I feel some ways about that commitment. I feel some ways about like, but what if in the future this, right? And really just having a conversation with myself, like reminding myself you're in a different place. You've come along, like how far you've come really, right? Like you've come here, like this is not crazy, right? This matches where you are in life, and it's okay because you always generate, just reminding myself who I am, you always generate more money. So eventually you'll be right back up to saving just as much money very soon,
Yeah. I love that. Like, I love this time. It's like you're strengthening your connection, your vibe, your belief in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's all stepping into the beingness, right? Of that next level.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? I cut you off.
It makes me think of I've been using working out examples a lot, and how it's like you're building your muscle. So you experienced like, say, a new movement or a new exercise, and it's like, oh, this is weird. This feels uncomfortable. And then you just practiced it. You just, strengthened that, and now you got comfortable. It just took some time, not a lot of time.
Yeah, right. And I will say, in this process, when you're going through this, you let yourself, it's wobbly, right? Is the best way to kind of describe it. Like sometimes you lean one way and sometimes you lean the other way. Sometimes you're like, no, this doesn't feel good. And instead of fight that or judge that, you just lean into it. Okay, like why in this moment doesn't it feel good when it felt yesterday? Oh, because now I'm thinking about XYZ I haven't thought about before. And you just keep, how does that feel, right? And then, okay, I feel good. And you're leaning into, we're going to do this and that feels good. And, this investment feels good. And then, you allow that wobble, right? Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Like you just allow yourself to flow in that space. And I think so many times people think it's like, it's one or the other, or that something's wrong if you're going back and forth. And you're not going back and forth. You're becoming, you're growing, you're stretching,
you're riding
expanding.
The waves.
Yeah.
I think that too, it's such a good example, because I think sometimes a lot of our listeners or clients think that we don't have experiences where we have negative feelings or doubt or whatnot. But this is the part is we don't judge it. We just let it go. And so that allows it to all feel easier.
Yes. Because it's just part of growing and expanding. Yeah.
Right. Cool. So you were feeling that out.
Feeling that out. And then, there was just a day where it was like, I was okay with it, and I know I'll create whatever I want wherever. So I wasn't necessarily not enjoying it. I was enjoying the parts that we were highlighting that were good, right? And then there just came a day that was like, I don't think that's where we want to live. Like it felt fun. The idea felt fun. There were a lot of things about it that felt good and fun, and yet it just didn't feel right. And, I think most people, again, they think it has to feel right in the beginning, or like judge it if all of a sudden you've done all this work and gone and grown and then it doesn't feel right. And that's not it. It's all that growth needed to happen for the next step, right? Yeah.
It's so when never done. It's always just the next step.
It is. It is always just the next step. Yeah. And so as that, it was like when it came time for that plot, it was like, I don't think that's it. Like, we're going to let it go. Like, cause you have to like get in there right away that day if you, whatever. And we're like, yeah, we're going to let it go. And
wait,
so
did
that was
letting
cool.
it go, could you feel a sense of rightness in that?
Oh, totally.
Cool. I think that's
it
important
felt
to
right.
acknowledge.
That is important. Yeah. It felt right. Yeah. And then it was like, well, let's go check out this other house that I'd seen online. And it was like, no. But it was like, let's just go look at it, right? The inspiration was like, let's just check it out. And so we did, and we fell more in love with it than I thought we would. And again, like played like this part is awesome. There's 3 full bathrooms. There's this huge open space, right? To have clients over and entertain. And there's all this. And again, it was like, we loved it. There was a pool. I had a pool.
You haven't noticed it's a selling point.
Right? It's definitely a selling point. And so, started playing with, okay, what does that look like? And the payment would have been the same, maybe a little bit higher than that other house, but I already gotten used to that. So I'm like, okay, and just
see
like,
that,
again,
guys? You see that? How it was like that she needed that step to get to the next step?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's so cool. It made this process, this house, easier. It made adjusting to this house easier when you had the first experience.
Absolutely, because this house was like literally a 24-hour decision. It was like
at my wedding.
Right. It was literally we went to see it hours. So we got home from one trip. We had like 36 hours. We set up to go see the house, went and saw the house, then got in the car to get to the airport for Jenny's wedding and sign the contract in the airport.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, so funny. So, and that house was awesome. And there were things, again, still that it was like, well, okay, this is okay, right? This is awesome. And I really I wanted a little bit more space. I wanted the availability of a basement, because it was a ranch. And I wanted, there was just a couple things, and it was like, you know what? That's okay. Like, it'll be awesome. Like, it's still going to be awesome. And I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't settling. It didn't feel like settling. It just felt like, yeah, this is it, and really good. And what happened is, I think somebody wanted too much money for it. There was an amount we were willing to pay, and there was an amount the guy selling it wanted it. And so when we started looking, we offered that amount, and he said, like, just came back with the full price. But then he kept lowering the price and lowering the price.
It's so funny.
I know, right? And so I'm like, no problem. We know what we're willing to pay. And when he gets to that price, or he gets a little bit above that price, we'll just put in another offer, And so we went through a couple things, and we put in a second offer, which was the same price that we'd offered before. Well, maybe it was a little bit higher. Because they said, oh, there's another offer coming in, which at this point I don't think was actually true. They said there's another offer coming in, so, make your offer. And we said, okay, like this is what we're willing to pay. And if there's another offer, there's another offer. And we had to get clear we were okay letting that go, right? We had to get clear that we know there's something different if it's not this one. So
I just think that's a huge part of this process is, getting clear is on what you want, period. But trusting that if this isn't it, there's something else, there's something better. And being in that space of non-attachment where we would love this, but we're also willing to let it go if it's not meant for us.
And I think I've built that trust muscle because I have experiences. Like there was a studio I didn't get, and then I figured out 2 years later why I didn't get it, And so I know, like, it's better, right? And so we were willing to do that, and they came back at the same price that they had it listed at, and we're like, nope, we'll just wait. Right? And I was sure no one else was going to pay this price because it sat for so long. It doesn't make sense. There was it had been flipped, but there was still work to be done. It wasn't finished. Nothing was finished. And so we just knew that was it. And so we were just waiting, and we really were like, okay, this is going to happen. He's just going to come to reality, and then it's going to be our house. And we were at our friend's house. We were in New Hampshire, and my love is she's showing her friend, like, we're just waiting on this house. And it comes up as it's under contract. And we were like, And any good realtor, like, even though we said we had a top price, should have called our realtor and said, hey, we have this offer coming in. Are you sure you don't want it?
Right.
Because if that's just the way that you might get more money for your client. I think it's the way to be done. But anyway, so we didn't know, and this hit us out of the blue, and it was like, okay. And so she's freaking out. I'm like, it's fine. It's totally fine. Like, I'm not worried at all. Like, there is a reason. And, so she, started looking. Like, it made us expand our search a little bit for what we were looking for. It made us open up again to even more possibilities.
Yeah. I want to point out here that you had two important vibrations going on here, that having the opportunity for this house was, this is our house. Like, we're getting a house. So that vibe's going on. I guess it's just one vibe. Like, we're getting a house and this is ours and it's going to work out. And so you had that going on. You thought it was that house.
Right. Yeah. We thought it was that house. And so what was interesting, I want to make sure I tell this before we have to wrap this episode up, is that, we're on the flight. We're there and we're, grieving it's not this house, and I'm thinking, okay, like she had told me, she goes, you guys don't talk about when you're in the middle of things. And I'm like, yeah, that's on purpose. I'm not letting anyone else enter the energy of, I don't want it out there forever, that if something isn't flowing yet or doesn't feel like it's flowing, I don't want any extra energy in the things that don't feel 100% awesome. Right?
Right.
So Jenny and I will tell you after, but that is very on purpose because we understand energy, that we don't like do it in the middle. But I was like, oh, but here's an opportunity. I feel really clean in this process. I'm going to share and I'm going to talk about it. And I love it. I'm so excited. Like, I'm going to share we didn't get this house and how awesome it is and keep everybody in the journey. Well, we were already under contract on the house that we currently live in before we even recorded another episode. And I could share like, hey, this didn't work out.
Yeah, we couldn't even get the opportunity to talk about the process because it all happened so quickly.
Yeah. And we knew, right? And it was we needed to expand a little bit, and like, we have everything that we wanted. Ideally, we did think we wanted a ranch, but like, there's only a few stairs. It's not like flights of stairs. It's just a little bit of stairs. And the amount of space is so much bigger. The yard is so much, it's what we wanted. It's the huge space. It came with a balcony, which was not in the other house. And I was already like, I need a rooftop space. Like, we're going to have to build
like,
that.
Of course your place has a balcony. Yeah.
Right? Off the master bedroom, like, and, the master bedroom is just bigger and better. And it also lends itself to, it's me. Like, I'm always about the potential of income and investing in using all your resources. Why I don't think you have to, but I just always like that possibility. And the other house, like, we could have built something, but it didn't really have that possibility. This house, I'm like, 20 years from now, we can make a studio apartment and we can make a 2-bedroom apartment if we just want to live in a 3-bedroom house, which for me is extra awesome. So it has all the extra stuff that we wanted, but we were also willing to let go because of the stuff that we really wanted.
Yeah.
But we got it all because I always get it all.
I love it. You guys hear that? Because I always get it all. Okay, so wrapping up or summarizing, like, when you look back at this process, was what stands out the most to you in terms of how you were being throughout it?
Ooh, I was just being my future self. Like, okay. I know my future self. Like, I already know the parts of her house, right? I already know her house. I might not know the floor plan, but I know what happens in that house. I know that beingness. And I was just being the person who knows that there's a next step and a next step. It's not about, oh, I want a house. Sometimes there's an instant inspiration, go get a house, and it's the perfect house. And a lot of times it's a process, and there's a reason for a process. So I was being the person who I was being me, the person who understands this is an evolution, and you got to flow with it and grow with it.
That's so huge. I think that being in that place, that this is an evolution, allows you to stay open and allows you to stay in that receiving mode and getting all the best, hearing all the whispers and tuning into all the good parts and staying open to even the even better parts that you can't define. That's awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
So good. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you all for celebrating with me. And I'm excited to see any of you who are coming to Manifest It Now live. You get to share in the experience. Yeah.
That's going to be so good. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Go be awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.